Alright, Algebra 1, so we are going to continue talking about quadratics, graphing quadratics, and today we're going to talk about quadratics that are in vertex form. So that's an important piece here, is that we're going to have something in vertex form. Okay, and with that form we're going to find the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the y-intercepts, and then we will talk about graphing. We're actually not going to talk about point of symmetry, we're just going to talk about how to graph. Okay, so starting off with our vertex form is going to be y equals a and then x minus h squared plus k, where your vertex is going to be h comma k. Now you'll notice the sign changes. So this is going to have the opposite sign, and we can think about h hates its sign, k keeps its sign, so k is going to have the same sign. Okay, same idea here with a that we've talked about in the past. If a is positive, meaning greater than 0, we open up. And if a is less than 0, we open down. So less than 0 meaning negative. Okay, so we have a quadratic in vertex form. Then this would tell us that our vertex is hk, like we said, h the opposite, so negative 3 and a positive 8 there. That would be the vertex for that, as simple as that. We could also say that we know it opens down. That tells us that we know we're going to have a parabola opening down. Okay, then we can also talk about our axis of symmetry. Now remember, the x-coordinate of the vertex and the axis of symmetry are always the same value. So we're going to write our axis of symmetry equation as x equals a. So thinking about the last equation, we would say x equals, and since our vertex had an x value of negative 3, we're going to say that our vertex value, or I'm sorry, our axis of symmetry value here is x equals negative 3. And that is how we would write our equation. Some of you have already seen that in the computer lab as well. And the next piece we'll talk about then is our y-intercept. So remember, we're always going to have 0c for our y-intercept. To find it when we are in intercept form, we need to substitute 0 in for x and solve. So we've got 0 for x, we need to solve for that c value. So in this example, if I plug a 0 in for x, I would have y equals and then negative 2, 0 minus 3 squared plus 1. Make sure that you pay attention to your order of operations. So inside our parentheses first, so we're going to have negative 2, inside we have negative 3 squared plus 1. Exponents next, so we need to take negative 3 squared, and we'd have negative 2 and then times 9 plus 1. Now we do multiplication. Negative 2 times 9 is a negative 18, and plus 1 is going to give us a y-intercept of 0, negative 17. Okay, so this is going to be 0 here. Let's write that a little neater. 0 and then a y value of negative 17. So really that is it for these notes. We talked about a vertex, our axis of symmetry, our y-intercepts, and then graphing is going to be the same idea. Remember, it's going to be a parabola. It opens up or down depending on the sign of a. You'll find your vertex. Because it's in vertex form, it's fairly simple. You find your y-intercept by plugging in 0, and then you can plot those points, and we'll talk about how to come up with that point of symmetry tomorrow after we've started to plot them. Okay, see you tomorrow.